Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Scandal Season 7, Episode 13, and the name of this episode is Air Force 2. This was really good, y'all, and I was literally at the edge of my seat on this episode, because that damn Cyrus is a piece of work. So, let me begin. So, the episode begins, we see Cyrus is laughing his ass off at this memo that he's reading, and his secretary comes in to check on him, find out what's going on. What ends up happening is that he was supposed to have been given a speech at this Auschwitz dinner, but instead of that, Millie wants him to travel to Lebanon, not Lebanon. She wants him to travel to Lisbon to stop this issue with online piracy. So he's mad because he actually wanted to go to dinner. He was planning this speech and everything, but Millie's like, "Well, Jake is going to be there. Won't you just let Jake do the speech for you?" And he flips off because now Jake is the chief of staff, and like Cyrus is just not having it. He was saying that, you mean to tell me that I won't be able to do this dinner because, you would rather send me off here and because he's controlling you and all that? And then Millie was like, pump your brakes, Cyrus. But then he pretty much says that, no, I am not. And he kind of went and got in Jake's face and he was like, you know what? I'm not going to sit up here and be used by this hack. And walked out. So we definitely see also, so we pretty much see that Ali and David are pretty much talking, and he's going to be going, he's going to be going with Cyrus on this trip, to stop online piracy since he's Attorney General, and he pretty much says that we should go out to a restaurant or something. So this alarms Abby because normally they always order in. They never go out. To a restaurant. So immediately this shakes her because she's thinking that that Dave is going to propose to her. So she literally gets them to think. So she pretty much gets Huck and Charlie to hack David's accounts and everything, and they pretty much they get information that he's been going from restaurant to restaurant, and he went to a jewelry store and all of that. So she's immediately thinking that he's about to propose, but Abby doesn't know what way to feel about it because those of us who've been following the show, we know that Abby was in a domestic abusive relationship, domestically abusive marriage, that is. And, she loves David, but she's kind of like on the fence as to how to feel about that. So pretty much while they're talking about that, Quinn comes in, she says, "Oh my God, you need to come in, something happened." So what ends up happening is that Cyrus and David are on Air Force 2, and while they're on the plane, while they're up in the air, the actual controls have been hacked. So someone's flying the plane, but it's not no one on the plane. So the plane is being controlled by somebody else. This is a serious scare, and this definitely alarms the White House because they can't even get into contact with the White House at all. We also see in this episode is that Olivia goes to hang out with her mother. And, her mother doesn't disappoint. She came there with a birthday dinner because it was her birthday. And she's kind of like, well, I'm surprised. You're actually going to stay here with me? The phone rings. She doesn't answer it. They talk a little bit about Annalise and her, going to the Supreme Court. But she's saying that, she's not answering any calls and she's just going to make it about her. But her mother was not letting off on her at all. Because I think what brought her to see her mother was the fact that she actually talked to Annalise's mom, when she was in DC. Well, I'm saying that she is in DC. Why the hell would I say that? Well, when Annalise and her mother was in DC, she did talk to her mother, and she kind of built somewhat of a bond with her. So I think is what prompted her to want to reach out to her own mother, who she has kept prisoned in this nice little area, but she can't never leave. So we see that in the war room, Millie and Jake are in there, and they're trying to find a way to contact the plane or whatever. And then, we actually see that while they're on the plane, we see that Cyrus's secretary, she's kind of shaken up. So she pretty much says that, I think I was the one that brought the virus on the plane because my laptop was missing. One day how I'm always forgetting things. I come in, to get my laptop and it's not there. And then like later on, so I just went off and did what I had to do, but then I came back and it was there. So something happened. So pretty much Cyrus asks, so tell me, was Jake Ballard in my office the day that I wasn't there? And then next the plane just, the plane hit some turbulence and knocks them both down. So they both hit the table and everything. And it's just a big old mess. So this is like literally fright time. They are literally stuck in the air. Someone else controlling the plane. Somebody has hacked the plane. And as far as the White House, their mission is that if they can't actually get in touch with them, they're gonna have to shoot the plane down with all those people in it. So the only way. So what ends up happening is that Cyrus. We actually see there's also a press lady on the plane. She has a phone and she's like, she's with the press, and she's like, I'm on the clock. I can't stop recording. But he says that no, we have to turn off all devices to find out what's going on and what attributed to the hack. And of course, Cyrus' secretary was one person that mentioned this, but then they end up going to the control panels of the plane and try to see if they can, get in touch with QPA, which they do. Huck and Charlie, Huck pretty much, gets in touch with them, and he kind of sends them memos, don't trust the White House, this is possibly an inside job, and, we need help in that, if you can actually destroy the virus, you actually free everyone. So pretty much they hack QPA for their help to destroy the virus that's controlling the plane and everything. So pretty much we actually see that the wheels start turning with Millie because Jake is adamant we need to shut this plane down. We need to shut it down, and we need to shut it down now because there's no telling what this plane is going to do, and it was heading towards Washington D.C. So immediately Millie's like, did you do all of this? He's like, because she's like, you seem really adamant about destroying the plane. Is this your funny way of taking out the trash? Because I already know what you did with Rashad. How I know you're not doing this now? And he's saying that, look, I had nothing to do with this. She's like, you know what? You're off this case. Get out of my war room, and I'll deal with you later. So she immediately shuts Jake down. We see that down at QPA. Abby is shaken up because she is in love with David, and David's is on Air Force 2 as well. So she's really shaken up, and Quinn later tells her that, look, you can't work on this. Won't you go in there and we'll just update you once we find out something. And we even see that Millie even tries to call Olivia, but Olivia ain't answering her phone. I mean, yeah, because you all turned on her, but yet now there's a crisis, y'all all need her. Ain't that funny? So pretty much, we see that Olivia and her mother, are talking to each other, and she's like asking Olivia, "Why are you here? Is it because of guilt? Here it is. You went to the Supreme Court, fighting for everybody else's rights, but yet you're keeping your mother prisoner, and then like she's like, you know what? I just came, and then Olivia's like, you know what? I just came here for one day just to celebrate your birthday, and you always had to make everything an issue. She's like, birthday? It's not my birthday. Honey, I thought I had so many aliases, girl. I forgot what date my birthday was. She's like, you really thought that? Because every year you would do something around my birthday, and for some odd reason, I thought that you would have figured it out, but you never did, so I just didn't say anything. So, but then again, maybe that is what you like, Olivia. You like to live a fantasy. You want mommy to stroke you and make you feel that everything is okay. I was like, Mama Pope was not holding back at all. So then we also see just quick that Fitz and Marcus are watching this whole situation go down with Air Force Two. He talks to Millie. And he asks Millie, "Do you want me to tell you what I would do?" And she says, "No, I just, but she says, okay, I get it. You just want to connect with somebody who's been in your shoes before." So we saw that go on. And then, like, we see that David and Cyrus are having a heart-to-heart moment because they think they're going to die. And, David is pretty much talking about Abby and he's pretty much saying that, look, it seemed to me what's going on between you guys is serious, don't ever take it for granted, and then we actually see fire jets flying alongside the plane, so they are ready to shoot that plane down, if they can't get in touch with Air Force 2. So then we see Huck goes to check on Abby. And then, he literally, in this scene, he kind of, tells Abby that, look, I understand why you're on the fence about marriage, because your first marriage was so bad and traumatic. You really don't think, you really are afraid of marriage. And I understand that. But, she's kind of worried that, I have nothing but great memories with David, and what happens if I lose him? So Abby is very emotionally shaken up by the whole situation. So of course Cyrus tells David, from the looks of things, we might have to prepare for the worst. Then we see the same press lady goes to talk to the captain of the plane, and she says, I noticed there was some Wi-Fi, and she's saying that, look, the world needs to know what happened here. So if there is some Wi-Fi, I need to connect to it, because I know you have a job to do, but so do I. So all of a sudden they call for everybody to get back in their seats. Cyrus gives this very presidential / inspirational speech that was so moving, in the flight of danger, and the press lady actually records it on her phone, so pretty much it's streaming live, and everyone sees Cyrus being very diplomatic and strong in the face of danger. So this is helping his rapport, and so that happened. So then Olivia and her mother again, they have a scene with them, and she was saying that, oh my God, they're gonna shoot the plane down. And then Olivia's mom was like, well, hey, if that's what they're gonna do, let them handle it, And then also she's like, oh, come here, you wanna cry on mommy's shoulder. And she's like, what is wrong with you, Mom? And she's like, again, you don't listen. Here it is, you up here crying about them shooting down the damn plane, when yet they shot you down. Like, you went down because of them, and it looks like now, so will they. So, instead of you coming around here celebrating fake-ass birthdays, won't you actually celebrate that? That they're going down because they tried to take you down, bitch. So, immediately, Olivia leaves. And we see that we see that finally Millie goes to Jake, and Jake lets her know, I had nothing to do with this, because she kind of put it together that there's no way possible he could have done it, because he doesn't even have access to do this shit. So he pretty much says that, look, I will give the order whenever you want me to, Madam President. So they both are in there. They got the jets there lined by the plane, and they're ready to shoot off whenever. And we see that Cyrus ends up walking the plane, and we're seeing all these people reacting, but the press lady was the only one that wasn't freaked out, and I peeped that. She was the only one that wasn't freaking out and wasn't crying. Everybody else was kind of like emotional because they all believe they're about to die. So next, we see that QPA, Huck works his magic, and he actually kills the virus. And the thing is, the War Room is trying to connect to Air Force 2. They're still not able to get a connection, but then all of a sudden, they see that the plane has been de-hacked. So now they have control of the plane now. So then all of a sudden, we see that Abby, gets a knock on the door. She answers it, and it's David. And she's pretty much saying that, she starts talking about, he's trying to talk to her, but she's like over the top, because she's thinking that he's about to propose to her and all of that. And she's like, oh my God, I know we can do this and we can do that and we can do this. And he was like, I'm not proposing to you, Abby. And she's like, what? She's like, look, I already know everything about you. But she said, but what about you going to the grocery store? She's like, I was getting a gift from my mother. And the reason why I chose all those different restaurants, you never know what you want. So I just decided to do a variety to see if one place doesn't work, we'll try something else. He's saying that, look, I know everything about you. And due to the fact that you had such a hell of a first marriage, I know marriage is not really in the cards for you. And guess what? I'm okay with that. And but in a way, it's like they are soulmates. They're meant to be together. So that was actually cool to see. So then we actually see that Millie and Fitz have a drink, because she Air Force 2 survived and everything is good. So I think later on they did connect with them. They just didn't show it on screen. So they got word that Air Force 2 was okay. And, pretty much Huck was the one that de-hacked the plane. But the killer is to find out who actually was behind it. Because, at first, Millie thought it was Jake, but we know it wasn't Jake. So who was it? Then we see that Olivia sends a box to her mom. Inside the box is a coat, and it's a one-way ticket to Paris, and a Swiss bank account where she can eat at the finest Parisian restaurants for the rest of her life. And she pretty much tells her mother, happy birthday. But she says, well, my birthday is on the 27th. And she says, well, happy birthday, Mom. And finally, she's actually emotional that her daughter has decided to let her go. And to let her go off and live her life. She gave her mother her freedom. And then, after that, Olivia goes to see Cyrus. And Olivia immediately knows that damn evil Queen Cyrus was behind the hack the whole time. And she was like, if you was going to do a hacking job, why settle for Air Force 2? Why not do it with Air Force 1? And she pretty much says that, so you literally took a gamble, you hacked the plane, did this very powerful speech, so what is it? You think you're going to get a premature election? I mean, what? You can't wait 7 years? Oh, you think she's gonna? Because she's definitely not gonna be out by 3. Well, he pretty much says that. Well, Olivia, you already know I'm not the one that is patient. So she's like, what the hell are you planning to do, Cyrus? And he's like, okay, I'll talk to you later. She's like, what are you planning to do, Cyrus? And he was just very dismissive and was more like, you'll know when I do it. So we know that this bitch done played everybody. He hacked his own plane, nearly put everybody's life in danger, including David's, just so he can make that presidential moment, because he plans on taking the White House. The question is, how is he going to do it? Or what's his plan? Because his plan is to get Millie out the way, but what is he going to do? Is he going to do it by killing her? Or is he going to do it by, exposing her in some way where she'll be impeached? So we got to keep our eyes open on this one, but I'm just saying, that little evil queen, he wants the Oval, and he will stop at nothing to get it. So that was mind-blowing, that here it is, he even blamed Jake about taking over and everything like that, but really, you're trying to do the same thing. And, it just shows how far Cyrus will go to win. So yeah, that was a crazy episode, y'all. So that's what I have. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of Scandal. So until next time, everybody, take care.